What we saw today in the e-cig summit was actually in some countries now today, regulators are actually saying that products like e-cigarettes are actually reduced risk relative to continued smoking. So there is a huge body of scientific evidence out there from academic, regulatory and public health scientists that supports this conclusion. Well, there's been a number of studies have been conducted in the UK in the last 3 or 4 years. One in particular stands out from one of the leading public health scientists, Professor Linda Bald from the University of Stirling, and she conducted research with 60,000 minors, and she found that e-cig use with minors was typically with minors who were already smoking, and this was a very small number, about 1%. And she also came to the conclusion from this study that in fact e-cigarette was not driving cigarette usage, so it wasn't acting as a gateway product. Well, if you start off and you look at like smokers, so smokers typically smoke for 3 reasons. One is the sensory aspects, the other is the ritual, the puffing, inhaling and holding, and the third is the nicotine pharmacology. Now, NRT were developed just to deliver nicotine, so they answer the nicotine pharmacology question but don't answer the other aspects, and I think when they're lacking, smokers find it more difficult to switch to these products. So vapor has many more aspects to it, and I think that's why it's easier for smokers to switch from cigarettes then into these types of products, because it meets their needs. Well, what we see today is a huge spectrum of regulatory opinion on these products. So today we had at the e-cig summit, Health Canada, who is the regulator of these products in Canada, saying that actually there will be health warnings on these products, so beneficial health warnings that these products are actually reduced risk relative to smoking. Then you have other countries like Japan and Brazil who are actually banning e-cigarettes. So you've got a whole spectrum of regulatory position in these products, and that's really where we need to focus to create regulatory frameworks that then these products can grow and then smokers can then transition to these products. Well, if they're treated like traditional tobacco products, then they will have all of the restrictions of traditional tobacco products. So one of the main things that we need with these products is to be able to communicate the benefits of these products to consumers. You see very many surveys, even here in the UK, of people who year on year believe that e-cigarettes are as risky as cigarettes because of some of the bad news stories about e-cigarettes. It's absolutely imperative that the regulatory authorities position these products that allows those communication freedoms, so that then we can actually communicate with the consumers and talk about the benefits, because if we can't talk about the benefits, they're not going to switch from cigarettes to these new products. So we've got actually very aggressive plans around next generation products, and this year we wanted to actually make £900 million of revenue, because that would demonstrate to us that this is now has the potential to be a global business. We will continue to grow that, so in the next 5 years we want to make about £5 billion in next generation products, and then even pushing out further, we think by 2030 that next generation products will be about 30% of our business, and then 2050 it'll be about 50% of our business. So we see it increasing year on year. Well, one of the things we saw today in the e-cig summit is you have the creme de la creme of tobacco control and public health scientists, and you see even in one conference the spectrum of views on these products, where on some hand you've got some of the scientists saying that these are reduced risk products and we really need to get them into smokers' hands, right to the other end where certain bodies are quite nervous about them and unsure because they're new products. So that's being reflected in the regulatory environment in certain countries around the world. So what we really need is a consistent view across the public health community, and then they can help inform regulators, and then we can get a proper framework for these products.